Mr. Excel podcast, sponsored by Easy Excel. MrExcel from Mr. Excel podcast, chart legend gaps. Hey, welcome back to the Mr. Excel netcast. I'm Bill Jelen. Today's question sent in by Jules. Jules has a chart, and he says he used my tip to put the legend at the top. So under Chart Tools, Layout, Legend, show legend at top. But then he says, hey, there's a big, huge gap between some of the series. And I started thinking about that. Well, Excel 2010 doesn't put that gap in. It handles this pretty well. So I started thinking it might be a problem with the source data. The gap appears to be between central and west. And so I came back to the chart data here. I press F2. So I select the name of that series. And check that out. There's a great big space there. And we need to close up that space. Now, what if this had been a formula instead? It's tough to see how many spaces are in a formula. If you had a formula instead, here I'm on a different worksheet where we have a formula. You can just wrap that whole formula in the trim function. Trim gets rid of leading spaces, trailing spaces, and also interior double spaces. So if you have Bill space Jelen, it will make it Bill space Jelen. So you see that corrects the legend right there. So I almost wonder if that is Jules' problem. And now that's if you have a formula. If you don't have a formula, of course, it's just F2 and then backspace all those spaces away and press enter, and it fixes itself. I don't think there's really any other way. We have a little bit of control over the legend, like we can control the size of the legend, even the font in the legend. But I can't think of any way that we can control where they occur, if it wraps or anything like that. So I'm thinking that the problem has to be back here in the source data. Well, hey, I want to thank you for stopping by. See you next